All right, hello boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to talk about our final project here for our Digital Art 1 class. All right, so if we were in studio, we'd be doing a Photoshop self-portrait here in Digital Arts. However, we're going to have to adapt because of our changing environments and we went to remote learning. So we are going to do a self-portrait. Okay, this self-portrait, you are going to get a photo of yourself to work from. Hopefully you want to get a photo that you're happy with. If you don't have a photo that you're happy with, go ahead and take a picture with your phone and work off that. Or have a parent or a brother or a sibling or a friend take a picture of you that you can work with that you're happy with. Okay. But start with something you're pleased with. Obviously, if you don't like the photo, you might find it quite challenging to make something pleasing from it. Okay. All right, so we want to do this and we're going to go through and I'm going to verbally adapt this a little bit as I go through here because given our current situation that we're doing things a little bit different, this project in the slideshow is from the studio, our class we'd be in the studio doing, but we want to really focus on this quarter of learning. We've been remote learning, we've been in a quarantine, we've been in a global pandemic. So how can we incorporate that into this project, okay? So I really want you to think about as you go forward into this project, how you can encapsulate your experience during the coronavirus, during the global pandemic, during this quarantine, during this fourth quarter of learning, how it has affected you, how it has defined you and your learning experience, and how it has changed you and your family and your experiences. Okay, so try to relate some of those ideas and feelings in this self-portrait piece so that we can try to express that in a visual and artistic manner. Okay, a lot of people have, some feelings of just isolation and being lonely and missing your friends and all those pains that come with this. Other people have looked at it, their lives, they feel like it hasn't changed all that much. And how this is just a different way of looking at things. Some people are feeling very liberated by this homeschool experience. They're feeling very empowered and they really like this and setting their own schedule and are feeling successful with it. If you have that, maybe you express that. Lots and lots of people in my photo class, we've done lots of photojournalism, kind of like self reporting on what you and your family is doing. So like common themes are just like lots and lots more family time. Meals are much more important. Meal prep is much more important. Just a family unit feeling more together. So things like that. A lot of kids are working more. So if you've done more work, how has that changed your life? Maybe you're one of the main breadwinners for the family now because of, circumstances. So if that's, something you want to relate, try to do that visually. A lot of people are doing a lot more projects. They're doing more activities. They're doing more art. They're, having to do all these things that they've wanted to do that just didn't have time for now that you've got nothing but time and can't go anywhere, they're really taking those on. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump in here into some examples here of what we're talking about. Um, and we're going to try to throw some ideas out here for you. First thing I want you to do is get a piece of paper and start writing your ideas down on how I would visually express myself and how this pandemic has really affected myself. Okay, words we're going to get back to in just a second here because they could play a very powerful voice. Okay, you can do a straight pencil and ink or pen and ink or charcoal, any kind of drawing media you have, you can work in. Okay, I want to push you to try and add color to this in any way you can. If you have traditional paints or markers or pens or colored pencil or anything, crowns that you can do color with, go ahead and try to incorporate color in any way you have. If you have, like I said, traditional paints you can use. If you don't have traditional paints and you want to try some alternative ideas, we had a artist of the day this quarter, which I showed you, where he did an entire mural using nothing but mud and clay. So there's all kinds of things you can use. You can use food coloring, coffee, Kool-Aid, fruits and berries, make all kinds of colors. So experiment a little bit. Try to do some thinking outside of the box on that. So like don't feel limited because you don't have traditional art supplies. Okay, these can be very expressive. You can really like push your ideas and they don't have to be photorealistic. If you have a painting or a photograph that you want to use, you could draw right on top of that and use some of that and mix collage and paint and drawing materials together. Okay, don't feel locked down by one material. They don't have to be photorealistic, okay? So if you want to really kind of push and distort, if that's how you're feeling distorted and uh, confined or caged or cagey about this whole situation, then by all means trying to express that in your art. We just did a big collage piece, okay? So like headlines everywhere are reading about the coronavirus and COVID-19 and pandemic and global pandemic. And if you wanted to incorporate words into it, using headlines and words in a collage manner would be an excellent idea to convey in this idea using collage, just like we did. Also with images. Okay, so if you wanted to use those kind of images to express how you're feeling and, the sign of the times here, it's like those kind of images and words are all around you right now. Okay, if you want to use just as a back palette to draw a paint on, that would be interesting too. Okay, but think about ways you could do that. Okay, again, collage and imagery to like push how this is affecting you. Okay, and using it as creatively as you can think possible. Okay. Words, I said we would get to, like say, if you are really have done any writing or you feel there is a song or song lyric that really encapsulates how you are feeling at this current juncture and all of this social distancing has really affected you in a way, look at just how powerful this piece is. If you look at this, this is some paper glued down very sparsely on a piece of regular cardboard, and I've got like a ballpoint pen and a lot of words, and it is a very powerful piece. It's very simplistic, and just think about how much this is moving and how much emotion is evoked with this simple imagery doing this. If you want to be completely off the wall and you're like, what, I feel like an egg-shaped rocket ship going up in the desert over top of two double mint twins in see-through bathing suits in the pyramid desert, then get that done too, okay? You are completely open on this. Express yourself as best you feel possible, okay? If you have some digital means available and you want to try some Photoshop effects, using double exposures is a great tool for doing mixing multiple images into it. It gives a very ethereal feel. You can do this traditionally with drawing techniques as well. So think about using some of those ideas. You can get some very, ghostly, ethereal feeling with that. If you want to take it and try to do some kind of cartoony effect, if you want to take it more lighthearted, and illustrate yourself in a more lighthearted manner or stylize yourself or make yourself in a different context, then by all means do that. Okay. Again, if you have any more digital, if you have digital means available to you and you want to try doing something like an animated GIF or some other technique that you've learned online or would like to try, I highly encourage you to try some new techniques like that. So please don't feel limited by anything. Okay, I want to try and make this as entertaining and as much of a artistic release as you can as we finish up this year here. Okay. All right. So one last thing here. If you are in one of Mrs. Seeger's or Mr. Reynolds' studio art class and you would like to use this as a final project for their class as well, that is completely acceptable. They will be doing a similar project that is going to be a self-portrait that's going to involve how you feel during this pandemic and isolation and social distancing. By all means, I encourage you, you can use the same piece for my class that you are using for their class, okay? So if you have one of those classes, you can use this piece for both classes, okay? And this is something we've talked about, so it's kind of, hopefully that'll allow you to put some extra time and effort in these, okay? Again, these are going to be due on May 15th for all underclassmen. Seniors, you'll have May 13th, these will be due. If you have any questions or concerns or just anything you need to discuss, please give me a call or send me an email. I'm in the studio every day from 8 to noon, so please reach out. And if I don't answer, I'll get back to you as soon as possible. All right, keep your mind and body active and stay creative, and hopefully I'll see you soon.